Hey all, here are OS Reviews. Today we're taking a closer look at the XROUND AERO. These are a pair of TWS wireless buds that feature ultra low latency, so great for gaming, and also a unique surround sound EQ mode that's built in that you can switch on and switch off. That adds a bit more of a dynamic, immersive sound. And you can switch between all of these modes directly on the buds. So there's a music mode that gives you better fidelity and audio resolution, and then a gaming mode, which is going to reduce that latency, in fact, lower than what's detectable by human hearing, and also lower than the AirPods and the Razer buds, as you can see there, by quite a lot. They also claim to have titanium-coated drivers and dual microphones built in, good for communication. Other interesting features include a touchpad area that is controlled by swiping, so you're able to swipe up and down, for instance, to raise the volume higher or lower, as well as change things like skipping tracks, playing and pausing the music. There is also a companion app that you can download optionally on your phone that can further customize the EQ of the sound and change between a few other functions, like you can also add in a triple tap. These are also rated to be IPX5, so they will be resistant to sweat as well as light rain, so if it gets a little bit moist or wet, it should still survive. I'll also point out that it also includes an ultra-low latency Bluetooth transmitter as an optional accessory that you can pick up that can be further used to improve the low latency process for computers and PlayStations, as well as the Nintendo Switch units. And then, of course, on any latest generation smartphone, you don't need to use this receiver, just using the built-in Bluetooth will still be sufficient. In terms of battery, will last for 6 hours when removed from the case, and then with the battery case, we're getting a combined total of around 24 hours, which is about average. These will retail for under $100, sometimes goes on sale for less than that. Packaging here is done very well. It's quite clever because of these stripes. It almost looks like the pattern here is moving as you're taking it out of the box, so clearly showing a lot of attention to detail. And it says Aero and also reiterates some of the functionality here on the back, including some Spinfit silicone tips that can get you some added comfort. Inside of here, we have just the XROUNDs, and there's a QR code you can scan for the companion app, again presented really well, along with a quick start guide to how to select the correct tips and pop them back in for charging, and we have just the device here right on top. The accessories include the aforementioned Spinfit branded silicone tips that can get you some added comfort, and there's also some regular silicone tips just directly from them, a USB Type-C charging cable along with a quick start guide. Before we take a closer look at the design of the AEROs and talk about the performance, I also want to point out that I also have the Bluetooth transmitter here to quickly show you guys, and it supports codecs not only SBC and AAC, but also Bluetooth 5 and even Qualcomm aptX low latency. This includes the actual receiver itself that has a Type-C connection, but you can also transform this into a Type-A port, so if you want to use it on a computer that maybe doesn't have Bluetooth, you can also pop it in like this, and then pop this side into your computer's USB port. Additionally, you can even pick up a carrying case for the AEROs exclusively as another little accessory here. It's going to be a hard shell case that you can zip up and then basically pop the battery case into for protecting it, and also includes with a little strap. Clearly, there's a ton of attention to detail here when it comes to the packaging and the presentation. So taking a closer look at the design, the battery case here is a little on the chunkier side because of its square form factor. So here it is next to, say, the regular AirPods. Now there are some status LED lights that will tell you how much percentage of juice is remaining, and when you pop it open you can see that there's also the AERO logo. The buds will pop into place magnetically when you want to quickly top them up for charging. As you can see there, it fits into place quite well and prevents them from falling out. There's just the Type-C port for charging, and that is pretty much it. And again, the entire stem area here is touch sensitive, so you're able to swipe up and swipe down to control different things like volume, for instance. And the actual size of the buds themselves are also comparable to the AirPods, so not too much larger. Now when it comes to the fit and the ergonomics, I did feel like these were a bit on the larger side, so they were still overall comfortable but very snug fitting, so they are going to be quite tight when you pop them in. But again, they give you plenty of different tip styles that you can try between and get you the best comfort. So if anything, I would say that these definitely feel present when you're wearing them. Next, I want to show you guys the companion application, and it's pretty simple and easy to control things, but from the main dashboard, we can change between the music mode versus the gaming mode, so that's going to be the lower latency effect, but it will also come at the expense of maybe dropping a few more details just to get the transmission speed faster. So if you want the highest resolution, you can switch between the music, but if you're watching videos or gaming, go into the gaming mode. From here, you can also turn into a custom EQ setting, so you're able to change the profile out by bumping up the bass, mids, or trebles yourself, or there are some presets that you can also try out. Although genres do seem to be a bit missing at the moment. I don't see something especially for pop or rock music, for instance, since this company is geared much more towards gaming. But you can create your own sound, save it on here, or go into some of the options there. You can also turn on the surround sound effect, which again just adds a bit more of immersiveness, bumps up the volume level as well, and makes the sound just feel a bit more present. Advanced settings allow us to further customize the controls, so what swiping up and down does. If you don't want to change the volume, you can also do things like change the track, as well as triple tap. Right now it's turned off, but I can also activate other functions using it, and you can also see the battery percentage remaining on the left, right sides, and if there's any software or firmware updates for the buds, they can also be pushed over. So here's a quick demo if I'm trying to play back this game. I'm going to put these close to the microphone and give you guys a quick demo of what it sounds like. So now tapping on the gunshot, you can hear that's what it's like. So a very minimal overall delay, I would say. So after tapping on the key, it's pretty much at the range where it's comfortable when you are still hearing the feedback from the sound, as you can hear there. So overall, definitely doesn't get in the way of playing back games even with higher refresh rates. When it comes to the audio quality and performance, I would say that they also sounded quite good. It is really important to get a good seal on these, however, since again, these are quite tight. Getting one that really fits properly into your ears can really affect the sound quality quite dramatically. But with the correct pair of tips applied, you are able to hear plenty of details and very good bass as well. So when you're hearing something like a drum beat or a gunshot, it is going to be pretty rumbly. At the same time, mids particularly, I would say it shines the most when it comes to giving you plenty of room for instrumentals, and most music and commentary podcasts do sound quite clean in that regard, and trebles also are good, although sometimes at higher volume levels they can sound a little bit shrill if we're being super nitpicky. So it's not necessarily going to be absolutely audiophile grade, but still is quite good overall when it comes to just casually listening to pop music, singers' vocals, things like that. Acoustic tracks do overall still sound quite clean. So that is more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the Aero TWS wireless buds from XROUND. I like the fact that the controls can pretty much do everything underneath the sun, including swipes, volume, surround sound, even the gaming mode on or off can all be handled. The companion app with the EQ adjustments are a nice touch. Now a few caveats, of course, where they can maybe improve on in the future, one of them being adding ANC, the second maybe minimizing the battery case design a little bit to make it slightly more compact, but really aside from that, it's got almost all the bells and whistles that you could ask for. So if you're interested, you can check out more details in the links down below. For now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the XROUND Aeros.